What is going on, my friends? YouTube live on a Saturday, December 7th. And I'm doing it live because I just got the KEF R11 Metas hooked up. I always want to say R3 because it's just like more common. A lot more reviews have been done on the R3, but these are the R11s. We're going to be live for maybe a half hour. I'm not going to stream and push it that long on a Saturday. No, not even a Saturday. It's a Sunday. Sunday the 7th. I normally go live on Saturday. That's why I was saying Saturday, but it's definitely not Saturday anymore. I'm checking the bass response right now on them. I've got them up on ISO acoustics pucks. The Gaia 1 feet, which I think are overkill for this speaker because it's not that heavy. The Gaia 2s might be enough for the R11s. They do help bring the tweeter in alignment, and then I also have underneath that I have piano caster feet. You can see there at the bottom I've got little outcroppings there, not outcroppings, but you know what I mean. And I'm using that to bring the tweeter level up to my ears so it sounds a little bit better. And yeah, I'm getting used to them. Just playing in a couple songs that I know. Trying to get the bass dialed in. The subs are not on right now, so for whatever it sounds like, the subs are not on. Do need to move them around though. Yeah, so I am testing and checking out the R11s. They will be in the space for the next foreseeable while. The absolutely amazing Mako Macarias are back with the company. They dropped by today to say hello, and they packed up the speakers. So now we have a new set of speakers in here to demo and talk about. So like I said, I'm gonna have them in the space for a while, probably be on for about an hour. I'm just gonna be listening to some reasonably good songs, mostly bassy stuff to begin with. I want to get a taste for what they sound like, what their bass range is before I put my subs on. I think they sound good. They have a good range. I think their mid bass is gonna have a problem in this room, but their low bass seems to be in a really good spot right now. What's it sound like on that side? Is everybody satisfied? I think they have some pretty good range. Looks pretty good in here in the blue right now. The imaging actually sounded really good in my other space, so now I'm checking out what they sound like in here. Really nice in the white. Reflects all that color that I have in here. Yeah, I think that lower bass actually sounds pretty good. It's in a good space right now. My camera's freaking out because of the lights. Manuel said hello. Welcome, Manuel. We appreciate all who have come by today to say hello. I know it is a Sunday. I'm not normally live on Sundays. It's normally Friday and Saturday. Today, unfortunately, well, fortunately, I did have a change in plans, so I'm here on a Sunday checking them out. It's unusual. And I'm just trying to see what their range is like. I think they actually sound really good. They look amazing. They really do. They really do shine. Or they really have a kind of sound that I appreciate. So let me stop this one. Let me put on Syncato. Put Syncato on in the background. So this is Memento. Syncato is the artist. Really, really amazing stuff. Good guitar work, good recording. It's a good mix of sound, so I like using it for demos. I'll probably, like I said, I'll probably be on for about a half hour. Anybody has any questions at any time, if you watch this after the fact, you see this on a Monday, whenever you find the video, then let me know what you think. Do you like the KEF sound? Do you have any KEF speakers? Have you tried them and not liked them? The recording's not going to do very much justice, I know. See if I can get my other song on in here. Get some jazz rolling if anybody's curious. Yeah, the Mako speakers are back again. I put the BuckEye audios back in here. Purifi 7040s. SVS subs are not on right now. And then the R11 Metas are going to be in room for a while. I connected with the Canadian reps and they agreed to send a pair over because I've been very curious about what they can do versus everything else. And as many people will know, I did sell my R&L towers. So the R&L towers are gone, and the KEF R11s could be the new ones. I may keep them, who knows. They have a really good sound so far. I'm impressed. And then if anybody else is curious, we've got the Michi P5. Eversolo DMP A8 for streaming. We're doing Spotify right now because it's easier. My Cobuzz subscription's got to get renewed, so I have that coming up. Is what it is. And for all my regulars that are around, I do appreciate you staying around and commenting and giving me feedback and all that kind of stuff. So thank you very much to all those who have shown support on the channel over the last number of months. I really appreciate it. Very, very nice sound, actually. Very balanced. I wasn't sure if the high end was going to be what I was used to, but it definitely sounds like it. Mathematica Informaticage. Interesting, long name. I like the DVLA speaker in the icon. That's pretty cool. I'm gonna have to check these for volume too. See if see how loud they can get. Let's change it up. Change it up to one of my demo songs that I use for my sound clips. Now, obviously, this isn't going to sound like very high quality through the phone, but I can give you a bit of a sample of it. Yes, nice new setup. Thank you very much. They were in the other room for a while, as we've seen, but in here, like, they're breathing new life, right? They sound a bit different. They're handling a little bit different. No subs on right now. It's just the towers. I'll add the subs in afterwards. And Mathematica says, how much does your setup cost? Okay, cost. I'll do it in, it's kind of hard to do in, let me see, Canadian dollars. It's kind of hard to do in Canadian dollars, but it's got to be, okay. So these are the tower speakers Canadian, without taxes, are 9,000, depending on if you get them on sale. The subs are about 1,000 each, so that's 2, so that's 10, 11. The amps are about 1,000 each, so that's 12, 13. This one's about 21, 25, I think. Call it 25, so that's 15 and a half. $500. And 65, so 22, I think. Cables were $200, some of the power stuff, give or take. I think, I'm not entirely sure, but something like that. You know, and it takes a long time to focus on that, to work for it, to save, to prioritize. You know, if you really want something, if you want a car for whatever reason, then you save up, you get your car. You are saving for a house, and you see that there's, obviously there's a benefit to having house and property, then you save for the house. In my case, because I work in audio and I've got a pretty good job, and I'm able to get reasonable discounts, and I work with many reps, then I get some products in to borrow for free. I don't pay for it. I get to play around with it, give my thoughts and opinions, take some photos, do some advertising, and then I don't have to pay for owning or having equipment. There's always options in life, It's not always about, oh, what does it cost? And then people will get up in arms and say, oh, that's so much money. And be like, yeah, it's a lot of money, but if you're smart and you work hard and you figure it out, then maybe you don't have to pay the money. You can do something else. You can work for it. You can work in exchange for it. If you build websites and you help somebody build a website, maybe they'll give you something. You know what I mean? And sometimes there's contests and there's awards and there's things that you can do that are not necessarily like paying out of pocket, working at a job, doing overtime, working 3 jobs, whatever it takes. If you work hard and figure it out, you can get whatever you want. And that's the truth. You just have to figure it out. Well, almost anything you want, because there's still people in the world that like to gatekeep. So, give or take, I think give or take it's about 22. Things are rarely straightforward. Absolutely true. Rarely straightforward. And you need to work at something to figure out how they're connected or what the next step is or, anything like that. And then once you figure it out, like stocks and trading and then crypto for a couple of years, if you had invested 4 years ago, even though the market looks like absolute dog shit lately, you'd still be way higher than anybody else because you invested correctly back then. But if you go in now when it looks terrible and you have some money that you can invest correctly, then in 2 years when everything bounces around, you'll be in a better position. You invest in the right businesses. You've got to be smart in the world. Can't expect everything to be fair and linear, and the idea of equality is to me, I think it's a lie. There's no such thing as equality. There's work hard, figure it out, and then you win. Nature sets you up with the tools you need, your mind, your ability to move, your choices, decisions, the education's available for you out there, the information's out there. You do your best, and you get what you can. This is just what I got. Well, what I got for now. Yeah, nice tunes. I'm using some of my my copyright free playlist here. So we got more Syncato in here too. This is the same song I use for some of my sound demos. Yeah, I like these. These are really smooth. They're very responsive. About 90 dB sensitive. Yeah, it's got some weird mid-bass issue, whether it's a null or something like that that's going on in the room. I think it's 90 hertz, somewhere around the 90 hertz range, and then there's a bump at 50. So it could be actually 150 hertz. So there's a bump at 50 and a null 100, which is probably due to the dimensions in the room. But I mean, these towers are bigger than all of the other towers I've had. And I like them a lot. Do you prefer these or previous arrangement? Hard to say, I just turned them on. I don't know, but these sound pretty damn good, that's for sure. You say we have some, try to put some flex on the woofers. See, they are raised up from the floor. What do you prefer, floor standing speakers or something different? I do prefer towers for their aesthetics, but there's a lot of benefit to having bookshelves. A lot of benefit, because bookshelves can be moved easier, they can be positioned better, they don't have as much baffle and cabinet resonance because the panels are smaller, they can be tuned better that way. Two-way crossovers can sometimes be superior, there's less parts, so there's less cost. There's a lot of benefit to a bookshelf, it's just their sensitivity is usually pretty low. So in order to get the kind of volume out of a bookshelf, you don't get scale. You don't get the same kind of power from a bookshelf. When you've got that much surface moving air, it's easier to get louder. Bookshelves will not get as loud, unfortunately. The idea of having a subwoofer in my system, I will probably always have a subwoofer in my system. If you guys are annoyed with the lights, just type it in the comments. If you're watching on a TV and you can't reply, please consider subscribing and then joining on a mobile device. You can always chat with me live. We're in here doing it today. I'm wondering if I could get these woofers to flex a little bit. What do you think? Let me give it some volume. 8 ohms, I guess they are. No, probably 6 or 4 ohms. Not bad. Yeah, I think they can handle that power. Yep, really surprised by that. They can They can handle a lot of bass, and that wasn't even a lot of movement. I probably could have pushed them even harder than that, but it's actually pretty loud in here. I think they can go up to about 116 decibels, I think. I'll look it up now. I think it's 100 and maybe 110. KEF R11 Meta specs. Joshua says hi. What's going on? KEF is a nice brand, absolutely. So I'm going to check out the specifications for their decibel range. Specifications. So basically in room is down to 26 hertz. Frequency range -6 is 30 to 50. Plus or minus 3 is 46 hertz to 28 kilohertz. So that's plus or minus 3. So the -3 point, they're trying to say that these speakers only go down to about 49, maybe anechoic. Yeah, maximum output is 113. 15 watts, 4 ohm, look, 3.2. So 3.2 is the lowest, but 90 dB sensitive. So that means you've got some area there to work with power. Pretty good crossover points. 330 for mid bass is not too bad. Those woofers are a bit spread out there across this way, but I think that wavelength is long enough. It won't cause an issue. On this website, someone's asking price. So right now they're listed on the webpage as basically $4,500 each, which makes them $9,000 a pair. That's without taxes, and that's Canadian pricing. So, I mean, Black Friday just happened, and KEF has sales on all the time. Like all the time. You don't even, it's not even a question. Just time it out right. If you time it into the right, the right timing, the right sales, Black Friday, Christmas, whatever you want to call it, Boxing Day, it's all coming up. They're going to be on sale. KEF always, always, always goes on sale. And they have another series below this, the Q Meta series, and those are just as impressive. Given a little bit of clarity, like they're maybe not as clear, they're not as loud, they're not built to the same degree, but you're going to get a lot of the same quality for, a little bit less price. So I think it's absolutely worth it. Let me see what else is on my playlist here. Borison, yeah, if they send them to me, absolutely. That's my next step. If those reps and the store sees fit to send them to me, then I will absolutely do that. I do really want to see what they sound like in here. A lot of people tell me they're too big, but I keep saying I don't care if they're too big. They're certainly going to fit in here. I have enough floor space, but we'll have to see what happens. The reps may or may not want me to have them. Also, they're big in terms of size, like they're taller. Let me see. I think the Borison X5s are 53 inches tall. So let's see how tall 53 inches is. No. 57? No. So that's 53. So these are already 53. My tweeter is now 33.5 inches off the ground, which is right where I want it. So that's already 53 inches tall. I think Borison acoustics are 57, so they're only True Voice of Reason's here. What's going on, my man? Glad to see you. Happy evening. Good Sunday to everybody. Thank you for joining. Everybody watching and not commenting, I appreciate you. Let's find out how tall the Borison X6s are. Well, they're very heavy. They come in giant cases, which I probably don't have space for. Let's see. Does my phone not know every time I write X6 it should be Borison? Jesus. I have to write the whole thing in. Lot of sound demos there. Essentially, if you put in Borison Acoustic X6, my face shows up, at least in my search. Look at this. All of these videos are mine. This one's at EQ Audio. This Borison X6 demo is, I can't even remember. Oh, that was me going up to this video. And then this one's from Montreal. So basically all of my, so are the drivers 6 inches? They look like they're 6. In the KEF, yes. These are 6 or 6.5. They're marketed as 6.5 because of the hardware. And then there's the X6. So you see the size, the potential size difference? What is going on here? Got a text here. I gotta handle this. Give me 2 seconds. My apologies, my friends. Sorry about that. Need to answer texts. Let me turn that down. So we'll get back to the X6 dimensions. Yeah, they're beautiful speakers. I really do like those. They're similar. They're smaller drivers though. This is a group. These are 6. This is 6 5s. The 2 in the middle do mid-range, so it's MTM and then plus the 5s here. Different construction, so you've got 4 6s there and then a mid-range tweeter in the middle. This has got the tweeter in the middle and then 2.5 way drivers, so they all do bass, but the cabinet size, volume, and then their output is different. 57 is 4'9". The new setup is awesome. Thank you, Hi-Fi Room. Trying to get information. I'm trying to get height difference on the. Like, these are already 53 inches off the ground, the top of the towers. It's definitely bigger than the Arundels that I had in here. Just getting specs on the 6s. "64 inches tall." All right. So they're. Let me measure out 64 inches. Do you primarily stream your music? Well, I do have a CD player there, so I go back and forth. But streaming's much easier, so I tend to stream when when I'm just going through and I'm listening to a lot of stuff and I find music that I'm discovering new music all the time. I typically stream because it's a lot easier. So 64 inches is going to be up here. So they're considerably taller. but I don't think they're much deeper. I think their measurements are like 20 inches deep or something like that. Let me see, I'm selling off my vintage stuff and moving more audiophile setup in the future. I mean, it's a good plan. I mean, some of the new stuff, okay, so vintage, depending on what it is vintage, I really do feel like there is a benefit to the vintage stuff because it was made different. It's made with a certain level of care. There's a certain sound quality that comes with it. Maybe not as precise, but like I was saying in one of my previous videos, sometimes the idea of having things that are not perfect often sound a little bit better. So let me see, it says 14 inches wide, which is, I think that's absolutely bullshit. The feet are not that wide. Even with the footers, they're not that wide. That sounds crazy. But it does say 22 inches deep. So what CD transport do you use and what streamer? Eversolo A8. And that's the Rotel CD11 Tribute. And I'm using the DAC inside the A8 instead of in the Michi. This is an ESS. It's an ESS chip in here, and that's an AKM chip in there. A pair of AKM chips in here, plus the clocks. So I'm running analog out from here to here because I prefer that kind of sound management. The preamp sounds beautiful on its own, just as a change from what I was used to. The Michi sounds beautiful. It also functions very well. It feels amazing. The remote is really intuitive. The dials feel amazing when you're moving them, turning them. Yeah, it's a very well-built, high-quality preamp. There's a lot going on there. It's very heavy and big, but I do think it's worth it. So I'm keeping my Technics CD, 1991. That's cool. And Technics receiver, 1978. I mean, there's certain details you could look up for all of those. I mean, a dealer friend of mine, EQ Audio, was telling me that some of the Pioneer Elite stuff in a certain series was so overbuilt at the time that it's so worth getting. So I think that would be, like that's the benefit to some of this stuff. Some of the engineers are really going for it. It wasn't like make as much money as possible, cut corners, like somewhere that happened, but at a certain time, that wasn't happening, right? So, Hi-Fi Headroom saying, I also want to get a DAP, digital audio player from FIO. FIO actually makes, what is it, the something 15? It's a really good streamer DAC. So that might be an option for people that are looking for that streamer DAC that's not Eversolo. FIO's got a really good unit out there. I think it's an S15. Something like that. Can't remember off the top of my head right now. Really amazing stuff though. So anyways, thank you everybody for watching and tuning in. Those that are supporting the channel and choose to follow and like and comment and watching, I do appreciate it. There were a number of sound demos that happened over the last little while. Now that I have the KEF R11 Metas in here, I will be doing more sound demos with these. We will see what they're capable of in different settings. I like this slow sort of lighting change. So I'll run them through their paces. I'm going to test them out a little bit more now. Listen to some demo songs, just get them dialed in, find out what they're capable of, then tune my subs so they match either in phase or frequency or roll off. I think everything's pretty close to dialed in here now. I mean, nothing has changed over here. There's no PEQ. I'm not running treble or bass. I'm not doing anything to delay or change the signal. Everything is just out to the mono blocks and then wired straight to the speakers. I've got world's best cables in here. So world's best cables, they're 7 gauge, and then some pretty decent certified power cables, individual power bar there, so I can turn on the amp and the lights and turn everything on and off. I didn't bother with cable risers because whatever. Essentially a symmetrical setup on this side. All the cables are wound the same way, run the same way. The only problem is the amp isn't symmetrical. It's got power on one side, so on one side it's on the left. This side's also on the left, so it changes the wiring, but everything else is pretty much the same. Couple of other details before I go. The towers are 2 feet from the back wall. They're roughly 1 foot from the side wall. They're about 7 foot 3 inches apart, and I'm sitting about 8 feet away. So they're just inside of equilateral triangle. In a bit, I'm going to share a Class D video I found in my community. Checking about an out community. Am I part of the community? Oh yeah, the post title does have A8 in the title. Yeah, I tried to be a little more forthcoming with my title as possible this time. These are not Bucard Audio subs. A lot of people are like, "Oh, you have Bucard Audio subs." I'm like, no, they're SVS subs. You can't really see it, but they are SVS subs. They're really, really blown out there. I'm just using the Bucard covers because I have the A10s in my computer system, and I don't want the dust getting all over these. I wish I had bags for these, but I don't. So we're gonna test them out, try them out in room. They're gonna be here for probably a couple of months, and then I'll get some sound demos, some basic comparisons on video. I did just have the Mako Macarias in here, which were open back speakers. Those sounded fantastic. They image maybe even a little better than these right now, but I've got to tweak them out a little bit. Toe them in, toe them out, push them up, push them back. I want to see what I can get out of them. We'll see what happens, and I'll report back as necessary or as possible. Yeah, very good, very satisfied. I think they look beautiful in here. The white really matches the space and the coloration. I can get a mood in here, and the color of the speakers doesn't pull away from the mood, right? Give it any kind of tone or texture that I want. I think this looks best. All right, everyone. Thanks for joining the stream tonight. I'm going to keep it short. I do want to thank everybody for showing support. If anything was valuable, I'm very glad for that. It's not about, collecting likes and, having the numbers. Like, I don't boast or brag about having numbers. Like, it doesn't, that part of it doesn't really matter as much, because you could have lots of numbers and 50% of people are dissatisfied. So that's no good. But if you have, pretty good numbers, and then a lot of people enjoy what they're watching, right? Like if you have 90% approval rate, that's pretty good. That to me means a lot more. So if you've enjoyed it, it was informative, at least entertaining, and there's some questions you want to ask, or if I can answer anything, then I can try to do my best in that sense. But yeah, that's the KEF R11 Metas that are going to be in here for the next little while. And yeah, I'll see you in the next video. Should be sound demos and clips. Be sure to join live throughout the week, Tuesdays and Thursdays at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Typically, I may or may not be able to go on every day, but I try to go on each one of those days. Then we'll get to some demos over the next little while. So, community tab post. Okay, cool. I will check that out. True Voice of Reason for the Class D video. Awesome. Thanks everybody for being here and hanging out. And I'll bring you some more information on the KEF speakers in the next coming weeks and months. Happy holidays. Take care of yourselves. Enjoy the music. Enjoy your family time. Be sure you got your priorities straight. If you got anything going on with your health, don't be stubborn. Go check that shit out, guys. It's not a joke. Early detection's the best defense and the best thing you can do for your health. So stop putting it off. Go get it checked. All right, fellas. We'll talk to y'all soon. Laters, y'all.